Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to end of day update. And let's start with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is breaking out. If I zoom out, you can see this whole resistance. It's trying to break out of this resistance. Now, this resistance can be a little bit higher too. Okay, so where this is right now, this whole area here, you can see here. And if I can put something like that, this whole area is a resistance zone. All right, so actually, I'm going to delete this number. Okay, so Bitcoin, you can see daily chart on a resistance. Now, I do still expect a little bit of dip. The reason is you can see Bitcoin is going higher. It's a new high. It's right now around 44,127. But you can see RSI. This is RSI indicator. You can see background. It's very, very overbought. Even now, it's made a new high and it's very, very overbought. You can see background. And then even on PPO, the bottom indicator is PPO. And you can see it's still very, very, it is a divergence, okay? Overbought, and then price is making higher high. RSI is making lower high still, and then PPO is still making a lower high. We did get a green buy signal here on RSI on this date, 1st of December on Friday, and then following day we got green line above red line. So indicators are showing it's a bullish signal. So if you bought on this green dot, you would have made from there a bot of on this green dot from where we are right now, easy 17% profits. However, we are going higher on a divergence, so we got to be a bit careful here. All right, and I want to show you BTC futures here. If I go to 1 hour chart, you can see this big gap up this day exactly here on 3rd of December. We had a gap up. All right, so this gap will definitely be filled. I just don't know when. So now we're gonna actually again on this Bitcoin, since it broke out of this, it's trying to go towards this whole area is a bit of resistance area here. So you're gonna make a resistance like this. You can see this whole confluence here. Bitcoin is now in the same zone here, and you can see what I'm trying to say here is something like this. All right, so Bitcoin was making higher high. Here you can see, if I zoom in a bit, you can see Bitcoin was making higher high, but then you can see PPO, RSI is making lower high, PPO is making lower high, and something similar. Okay, here also you can see was making higher high, RSI is going down, PPO was going down, so we got this dump. And now it's same scenario here. You can see a gap up, one gap here 39,420, second gap here 34,165, third gap here 29,760, fourth gap here around 26,310, and then third gap here around fifth gap here around 20,610, Now they are very far apart, and it can take multiple years to fill this gap, but these gaps do get filled 90% of the time. So just be careful here. In the short term, we could expect a dump to 39,420 to fill this gap, just because there's divergence on RSI. You can see prices going higher, RSI is going lower. Same scenario here. PPO is also going lower. Now, if this thing keeps going higher, and if divergences are erased, which means this RSI keeps going higher, and then it's going to be not anymore a lower high, it's going to be higher high, then okay, then it's very bullish. But for now, we got to respect these divergence, and we have to be careful. Okay, now if you're in profits, look to take profits. Do not be too greedy. Perfect time to take profits. All right. Yeah, just be cautious on Bitcoin. Ethereum also, you can see 1 hour chart. We made a new high, and then you can see we had a gap up here on this date, exactly here on 3rd of December. So let me put this a little bit lower. Okay, so daily chart, gap up. Now let's be a little bit careful here, because again on Ethereum also we have divergence. You can see RSI is making lower high. PPO is also, this is PPO is also making lower high. So just be careful, okay? Do not get too bullish. It's going to do as the same as Bitcoin. So just be a bit careful on crypto right now. That's my advice. And you can do whatever you like for now. All right, so that's it for crypto. And I'm going to move to traditional markets, starting with VIX. VIX is down a bit, but you can see VIX made a new low here. Same thing here, higher momentum on RSI. This is daily chart. You can see new low here, but RSI is high. And you can see what happened here. Actually, today we got a buy signal, all right? We got a buy dot on VIX, which is very, very bullish. And you can see on PPO, you can see green line is above red line. So be very careful here, because VIX is getting ready for a massive bounce, in my opinion, because every time we get this green signal here, you can see green dot here. Look what happened, massive bounce, all right? And yeah, be careful. This could be an early indication of what's going to come tomorrow. So just be careful. And on S&P 500, I don't have it here, but on NASDAQ 100, you can see here red dot, and we have a bearish pressure here. So NASDAQ is saying a sell signal, giving sell signal here. S&P 500 still did not get a red dot, but green line is below red line already. And one other thing, let's quickly look at SPY. Let's go to 1 hour chart. Let's go to regular trading hours. You can see we had a gap down today and we filled this gap. Okay, so today's session, Tuesday, this session here, we had a gap down and then they filled this gap. But now there's another gap here, 458.59, and this also gap to the bottom. If I go back to daily chart, they can fill this gap first, then go down, or they can come down and then fill this gap and then go high. I don't know what they're gonna do, but all these green lines here are the gaps. All right, you can see this massive gap here, massive gap here, massive gap here. They will be filled. I don't know when, but they will be filled. So be very careful. This is not where you want to be buying. This is where you should be looking to take profits. Although they could go slightly higher, but it's not worth buying at these levels. All right, so especially when you can see 1 hour chart, we are making RSIs making lower high, you can see, and same thing with PPO. PPO is making lower high. You can see there's a divergence here. So go back to daily chart, be very, very careful, and especially on live futures, you can see green line is already below red line. SPY is still not showing that, but NASDAQ is showing that, and you can see dark light green background on RSI. So you gotta be very, very careful here. All right. And triple Qs, NASDAQ, let's go with NDX chart. I wanted to show you something. And if I go to weekly chart, let's get rid of this indicator. Let's get our other indicator here. So, okay, on weekly chart, I'm looking for a touch of this green line, all right? This green line is going higher. As of right now, it's around 15,358. So at minimum, I'm looking from where it could look closed on like today. The green line is around 3.33%. So I'm looking for at minimum a touch of that. I'm not buying until that happens. So it's around 15,348. If I go to triple Qs, that green line is around 374, and at minimum I'm looking for this gap fill around 377.97. If I go to daily chart, this is the gap. So, and that's where this red line, which is also another EMA line, is coming. So that's the minimum I'm looking for to buy. All right. So let's go back to our PPO indicator here. All right, so on NASDAQ, if I go to 1 hour chart, you can see we have this gap. This gap is still not filled yet. So there's a gap up on 389, and then there all these green lines are the gap down. Now this could be an island cluster. So what that means is you can see this whole area. We're not really going anywhere since 14th of November. So 14th of November till 5th of December, we are just there, right? So we're just like chopping around. Now if we get a gap down like tomorrow or any other day in a week, that means this whole area here, these people here, they are trapped. Okay, all these people, they think it's going to new all-time highs, and like it's gonna be just keep going higher. If they do a gap down one day, and then this support is around 377, if this also breaks, then this is it. This could be a topping formation. All right, so be careful. So keep that in mind. But for now, at minimum, I'm looking for this gap fill before I'm buying again. But just be careful here, all right? Also, you can see we have a red sell signal here, and you can see we have a new high on daily chart, and RSI is making lower high. Even PPO is making lower high. So whenever that happens, time to be careful. You can see here, whenever green line goes below red line, you can see what happens here. Price is making higher low and then keeps going down. So be careful here. And even here, you can see here, we're looking for this dip. All right, this dip whenever green line is going below red line. So it could take a little bit of time. It's not going to happen right away, but be careful. Time to be very, very careful here. This is not where you want to be buying. You want to be buying here, not here. Not worry about 1 or 2% gain to lose so many there's a lot of downside potential here than upside potential. All right. So just be mindful of that. Play smart. Don't play like, don't be greedy here for to try to catch a last 1% profit. All right. Let's go to Dow Jones. Dow Jones is 0.2% higher, multiple gaps, 1 hour chart. Actually, this gap is filled. Yeah, they did fill this gap on daily 1 hour chart. And yeah, I'm looking for a little bit downside. It could be this first gap fill or second gap fill. I don't know. So looking for a little bit of downside before it goes high. Now Dow Jones have no divergence. So Dow Jones is different than triple Q's Nasdaq. You can see it's higher high with high, and PPO is also higher high. All right. So Dow Jones is bullish of all. Now IWM, a little bit of down today. Now also there's no divergence here, which is good news. But this gap is left, so I'm looking for this gap to fill before it can go higher. So that's my target on IWM. Gold now back on this support area, bouncing now a little bit. You can see back on this support area. This is the area where it broke out. Now rejected new high, got rejected instantly, and I got a red sell signal here. So last time I got a red sell signal here on gold, it went down almost 3%. So let's see how far it goes. And you can see green line is about to cross red line. So all indications are bearish. So let's see if it can hold this support around 2000. If it holds, then that's where you should be looking to buy. Silver, same thing, back in the support area. Red sell signal happened today, and green line is going below red line. And yeah, it's back on support and could be ready for. Let's say if this holds around $24, it could go try to make another attempt. But if it fails, it's coming back to around $22. All right. Crude oil support area, nothing changed. New low. Okay, so what happened today? Crude oil made a new low. I don't see a little bit of divergence. I see started to develop here on RSI. You can see the higher high, but on PPO, maybe a little bit of on PPO as well. You can see here. So crude oil needs to hold here, but if it breaks, the next support is around 65. So let's see if crude oil can hold. It has to hold here, but it made a new low. So any bouncers should be going down. All right. Natural gas trying its best, got rejected. Now I'm looking for this support area here. Short term looks like very, very oversold, but it could go lower again. Okay, this is the area you want to buy around 2.25 area. All right. Dollar index bouncing, and dollar bouncing will be bearish for gold, stock market, S&P 500, Nasdaq, and Bitcoin. But right now there's a divergence. Dollar is going higher, Bitcoin is going higher, gold is going higher, everything is going higher. So I'm not sure what's going on. But let's see. It can make inverse head and shoulder here. Can a little bit go down, then go breakout. Let's see. But it's right on the support. It's holding. So nothing much here on dollar. All right. Toronto Stock Exchange. Just consolidating, looking for rejection. This gap fill before it go higher. Hang Seng Index, massive, 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 massive downside moves. And if I go to 1 hour chart, that's why I told you we got to wait for this breakout. Until that breakout happens, and there's no buy signal, so we're gonna keep monitoring that. And we go back to 1 hour daily chart, and there's still divergence. You can see RSI is still higher, although price is going lower, even on PPO, right? PPO also you can see divergence. So let's see if this guy can hold here, and if it breaks this trend line, that's going to be a buy signal. Right now there's no buy signal, so we have to be careful. If it breaks it, then that's when we're going to be buying it. And this consists of Alibaba, Baidu, all the Chinese big stock, Tencent and whatnot. Bond market keeps going higher. Everything is looking good. Inverse head and shoulder looks like, and then breaking out. We break out of this downwards line, broke out, back test, just keep going higher. It's by the dip now. Nothing changed. Very good moves on bond. Copper by the dip. Made a new low, so it could go back to this zone here where I marked as green. This is where I should be looking to buy. Palladium, new low. A little bit of divergence, but this is in the supported again. This trend line needs to break before we get bullish again. But you can see short-term divergences are happening on RSI and PPO. So let's see. New low with divergences. So just wait for the breakout of this trend line before you get bullish again. Soya beans again in the buy zone. So Not a new low yet, but let's see if it makes a new low. It's still in a buy zone. Wheat, massive breakout, new high, and let's see, it can cool down a bit. If it cools down, let's look for buy the dip. It's straight going higher, so which is not good. So let's wait for a little bit of dip. That's also always good. If it dips a little bit, buy the dip is good. Corn right in the resistance area. Let's see if it breaks out of here. If it breaks out, then that's gonna be a support area. So that's gonna be a bottom. This new lows were made on divergence, so that's an early indication of a reversal. And let's go to 1 hour chart, and then maybe we can make a trend line here to see if it's breaking out. Uh, we can make something like this on wheat. It's not a cleanest of trend line, but if we do something like this, I don't know. Let's see if we can make something like this, maybe like this. So let's see if it can come back, back test this trend line or not on corn. So it's trying to break out of this trend line. If it, yeah, this is good. So it could come back to back test. Okay, could come back to back test. That's where you want to buy on a back test of this trend line. Sugar coming to the buy zone. There was divergence. You can see our price was going higher with lower momentum on RSI and PPO. So now it had to come down. So it's just correcting. So now I want to see other way. I want to see new low with divergences building up on RSI and PPO, and then I will be looking for buying this. But for now, just skipping it for now. Tesla was up almost 1.33% today, but I'm not bullish. It was actually up almost 4.5% today. Not looking to buy until this gap fill, all right? So just waiting for that. Apple, massive move, new high. But you can see lower momentum, okay? So that's the only thing which is bothering me. RSI, lower momentum. PPO, lower momentum. So new high on lower momentum. There's a gap here. Actually, it gapped up today. Gap left down. And there's a gap now to the top as well. So this gap will eventually fill. So I don't know which gap is going to fill first. Let's see. Are they going to fill top gap first, then come down? Or they're going to fill bottom gap first and then go higher? I don't know. Let's see. Netflix. Now there's another gap here. I don't know if they're going to go all the way down to fill this gap. There's another gap here. So looks like could be in the bottoming phase. But if stock market goes down, sorry guys, Netflix could go even lower from there. Let's try this for now, all right? We'll try this projection and see if that comes true. Microsoft was up, looking for this gap to fill. Nothing else to say. Google was up, again, same thing here, looking for this gap to fill before it can go higher. Facebook, looking for this gap to fill before it can go higher. Amazon, looking for this gap to fill. Snowflakes, down 1%, looking for these earning gaps to fill. NVDA was up pretty high. Now there's another gap here, but there are multiple gaps to the downside. So looking for those two to fill at 423 and 408. AMD, also there's a gap here around 113.69, looking for that to fill before it can go higher. Newmont Mine, biggest gold miner, looking for this gap. 38.32 to fill. Gold miners looking for this gap, almost coming as picture perfect right now. Looking for 29.89 to fill. Look at sector wise, XLK 178 gap fill. XLE coming back to support zone, so perfectly working as I expected. 82, around 82, 83 bucks is the buy area. XLV healthcare, wow, this gap is filled, looks like. Yes, so I can delete this gap. It was a gap down in the morning. And there's another gap here. Let's see if they're going to fill that gap. XLU, gap fill before it goes higher. XLI, looking for this gap fill at one of 4.98. Real estate sector also looking for this 36.7 gap to fill. And then XLF, gap down, looking for this LT, at least one of these two gaps. One is 35, second gap is around 34 before it can go high. Shopify up 3%. Interesting. New high. Very, very oversold, overbought in the short term. PPOs also green line is below red line, so be careful. Still looking for this dip, okay? What else is here? I think Pfizer. Let's quickly look at Pfizer. Okay, Alibaba, you can see no divergences yet, so it could still go lower. So looking for a little bit more lower prices before it can go higher. Baidu also nothing interesting here. Pfizer, this gap here around that's a good buy. A little bit lower, around 28.95. That's what I'm looking to buy Pfizer. So tomorrow could be a good opportunity to buy. Also, this big resistance trend line here. Also, this gap will be filled at some point. So from here to the first gap on Pfizer, almost around 3.78%. So you can get easy 3.78% profits if you buy around 28.95. So that's what I'm looking. Actually, I'm going to put this at the top, Pfizer, because I'm going to be keeping an eye on this. And the other stock I want to keep an eye is on Tesla. These are two stocks I want to buy, and I'm going to keep these two on my radar. All right. Okay, guys. Hopefully this was helpful. If you're still here, I will give you bonus review on my famous indicator. If you're still here, you get to see, and you can hit the like button if you like this. All right. This is a short-term chart, and then let me get rid of some other lines here. And here you go. These are the indicator I use for day trading, and you can get access to this if you join my channel. All right, link is in the description. All right, S&P 500. What happened here? Buy zone to sell zone. Easy profits here. All right, I shared this with my subscribers. 0.66%. You can see Nasdaq 100. Easy profits. You can see from buy zone to sell zone. Easy 1.22% trades. You can see gold. I told yesterday, everybody, you guys watch my channel. You can see dump from sell zone, above sell zone to the buy zone, 4% profit. Okay, and then went from buy zone to the neutral zone. So whoever bought there, easily 1% profits. And now again, it's in the buy zone and just hovering around here. So this is where you should be looking to buy gold. All right. And natural gas, you can see easy profits. Yesterday I said it's in the buy zone. From buy zone, it came to the sell zone. 5% profits, and then came back to the buy zone. All right, easy trades there as well. Crude oil, just chopping around, but you can see every time it goes buy zone, just bounces to neutral zone. So easy trades here. And Hang Seng Index is also in the buy zone right now. You can see, so all Chinese stocks are in a good buy zone right now. Let's look at tech stocks. Which one? Red. Meta is not near in the buy zone. Snowflakes is also not in the buy zone. AMD also not in the buy zone. So I don't see any tech stock. Gold miners. Let's see. Gold miners coming closer to buy zone. Still, there's a gap around 29.87. That's a good area to buy. And sector wise, energy sector, XLE, nice. XLE is in the buy zone, so that's a good area. And I think XOM is also looking very interesting here. Now let me check XOM. Here you go, right in the buy zone. This is why you should be looking to buy energy stocks. So actually, I'm going to move XOM to the top as well because it's also looking pretty interesting. One of the biggest oil miner. And you can see, let's do a daily analysis on this. Let me hide this. You can see XOM is a new low. And if I add another indicator, let's quickly do this together. Below all moving averages, which is not a good sign. And if I add a PPO indicator here, let's see what's happening here. Price is making new low, but there's no divergence on RSI. Little bit divergence on PPO. I still want to see a little bit of divergence building. Now there are multiple gaps here on XOM, so I need to keep an eye on that. So let's do it together. So to review all the gaps, what we're gonna do, we're gonna go a little bit to the backwards side, and we have to take some more data here. I don't know what this above yellow line is for. Looks like there was a gap sometime here, but I think we need to be worried about a gap before that. So what we're going to do, there's a gap here. All right, we keep it like that. And then let's quickly look at these bottom gaps. Okay, so let's mark them as green. So gap here, you mark it as green. All right, gap here, you mark it as green. All right, so yeah, these two gaps. Okay, actually, let's see if these gaps are filled. Yeah, you cannot really mark these gaps here because they are filled here. So these two gaps were filled. Are there any gaps before or under those? All right, so let's look at these gaps now. So we have to go further away, all right? So now we are talking about these big gaps on 1 hour chart. Gap here, all right? That's the only gap I have. So let's go back to daily chart and go back here, and let me delete this one. All right, so you can see here, XOM has multiple gaps. It could come to this 95.38. From where we are right now to that, it's around 5%. If that happens, that's where I'm going to be looking to buy. So since I see these multiple gaps here, I'm not going to be buying there right now. So I think short term, it's a good buy for a quick bounce, but all depends on oil. But keep that in mind, okay? And then let me bring back that indicator. You can see here short term. If you get rid of this line, you can see short term, it's in the buy zone. 1 minute chart. This is in the buy zone. Pfizer, very close to the buy zone. Tesla is not in the buy zone. So I'm probably looking to buy one of these three. All right. Okay, guys. Hopefully this is helpful, and you can see futures. Nasdaq again in the sell zones, which means you have to sell if you are buying futures, trade futures. Perfect opportunity to sell Nasdaq. S&P 500 getting closer to buy zone, sell zone, and use 30 also, and Russell 2000 in the neutral zone. All right. Okay, guys. Hopefully this is helpful, and please hit the like button and share with your friends and family. And have a good rest of the day. Bye.